So, hi everyone, and welcome to March peer-to-peer training. And today we have Jillian, and I will pass this over to you now, Jillian, and you can take it away.
Oh, great. Thanks, Sharon. And thanks for the opportunity to do this as well. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the emotion code and the body code. I suppose a little bit about myself first. I started with the emotion code. Well, I trained as kinesiology, in kinesiology about 14 years ago, and started my practice 12 years ago. And that's when I came across the emotion code. Somebody just sent me a link, and I just had a quick look at it and couldn't believe how simple it was. So started just playing around with it and seeing could it actually work being so simple, because I love simple. So I was working away with it, and it's just got really good results. So I ended up, getting certified in the emotion code and the body code, and I generally most of my work now is the body code. I bring in other things to it, that I've learned along the way, but generally it's the bulk of it is the body code and the emotion code. So I suppose just a little bit to explain what exactly is the emotion code. It was developed by Bradley Nelson, who is an American, who was a chiropractor. And in his chiropractor business, he was seeing the same people every other week. So they were coming in with bones out, and he'd put them back in, and then they'd come back in the following week, same bones out again. And he was just couldn't understand why this kept happening. So then he realized it was actually the emotional baggage that they were carrying that was causing the imbalance in the back, and with the bones. So he started to work with that and find out a way to release that emotional baggage. So when he started doing the emotion code and releasing that emotional stuff that the people were holding, he realized that once he put the bones back in, they were staying. They weren't actually coming back. So they weren't having to come back to, I don't know if you've ever been to the chiropractor, you can be going every other week for a long
years.
Yeah. So so that's where the emotion code was born. And so basically it is just, now I'm preaching to the choir here, but everything is held in the subconscious. So everything from, the moment of conception to this moment in time is there within the subconscious. And your body knows, if there's any kind of imbalance, your body knows what's wrong, it knows why it's wrong, and it knows how to fix itself, because our bodies are designed to fix themselves. Yourself, if you get a cut on your finger, or you get a cold or something, you don't have to do anything, or maybe put a plaster on it, or something like that. Your body will actually heal itself. So generally, once the body has the right conditions to heal, it will heal. So that's what we try to do with the body code, is find out, what's the underlying reason maybe you're not healing, or what, and then release. If it's emotions, we release the emotions. With the body code, you can go in a little bit deeper with different things. So if it's nutrition, if it's toxicity, if it's misalignments, so there's a lot of different areas within the body code, which I'll get into a little bit later, that you can check and see why is the body not healing, and then go to correct those imbalances. In order for it, so basically you're given the right environment for the body to be able to heal itself. So if we clear the energies, the body can do what it is supposed to do, and is heal itself.
So exciting, isn't it? I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for more.
So the first part of it is the muscle testing, and that's the most important thing. And especially if it's something you want to learn how to do, the emotion code is the muscle testing is the most important part of it, because that's how we connect with the subconscious, with the emotion code and body code. So there's lots of different muscle tests to do. For me, I use it's called the ring and ring. So it's like, I don't know if you can see the screen properly, but it's like that. So basically it's just connecting in with the body using the muscle testing. So if I was doing a session and I had somebody here in person with me, I would use their muscles. So I would have them hold their arm out, and I would be putting the light pressure on their arm. And if the muscle holds nice and strong, it's shown that for me, it's a yes answer. And then if it kind of gives a weaken, it's a no answer. So it's just a way to connect in to the body, and it tells you through the muscle testing everything you need to know. So working as a distance.
Sorry, now I'm jumping in with questions already. I think we'll keep them till the end, Sharon. But it's just, would you work on like loads of different kind of things with that? So anybody could come.
Yeah, I work with everything. So a lot of the main things I work with, I suppose anxiety is a big one, depression, any kind of mental things like that as well, fears and phobias as well. But then digestion issues is a big one, back pain, physical pain of any description, you can work with it. Basically, there isn't a lot that, I don't think there is anything that you can't help with the emotion code, because it's just talking to the body. So no matter what the person is dealing with, is asking the body, what's the underlying reason for this?
Yeah, so that was that's why I asked, because everything that anybody comes with, you will do that muscle test with them. Wow.
Yeah. So, but I work a lot of the time, I'd say maybe half my work is in person, the other half is on, Zoom or phone. So I can actually connect in at a distance as well. So say I could connect in with your energy now. It's just, there's no limitation to energy. So it doesn't matter whether you're here beside me or whether you're halfway around the world, I can connect in with your energy. And then with the muscle testing that way, I'll actually do the muscle testing on myself for the person. So it's like I stand in as proxy for the person. So the answers will be, when I'm doing the muscle testing on myself, the answers will be getting as if I'm doing the muscle testing directly on them.
Wow.
So even as simple as like, if I'll just show you there's a yes and a no. So if I said, can I work with Sharon's energy, and get a yes. So if I said then my name is Jillian, it's not, because I'm connected into your energy. So it's why I said my name is Sharon, it's a yes. So that's the way the distance session would work. So it's basically, I stand in as proxy, ask the questions, find out the underlying reasons for the issues that they're having. So if there is emotions, and the way the emotions work, the trapped emotions basically is what the emotion code is all about. It's releasing this trapped emotional baggage. So when we go through something stressful or traumatic, sometimes, well, it doesn't have to be that traumatic. People often think, it must be something really traumatic that you trap an emotion. It doesn't have to be, because the lives that we lead now are so busy that often the times it's just like, oh, I can't be dealing with this now. I have X, Y, and Z to get done today. And then, so you just have to get going and get, the kids picked up, or, dropped here, or to work or back, or whatever it is that's going on. We don't have time to sit and process our emotions. So when we process emotions, it's fine, it's no issue. It's when we don't process them, that's when we hold on to them. And they will, they'll build up, if we keep on just going through the emotions and not actually feeling the emotions as they come up, we will continue to trap them. So they'll build up and build up and build up, and eventually they'll come out some way, shape, or form. So whether it's a physical issue, whether it's emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever way. So that could present itself in physical pain, or it could present itself like, anxiety or depression or something along those lines as well, or fears and phobias and different things. So it's just about identifying those emotions. It's like, bringing them up to the surface and just releasing them then. So it's nearly like, you just have to identify them, I suppose, as well as giving them the opportunity to be, it doesn't even have to be felt. And that's the great thing about the emotion code as well, because sometimes we could trap, you could be driving down a motorway and somebody cuts in front of you, and the anger comes up, and you get and it could upset you for the rest of the drive home. You could be angry, still having conversations with that person in your head if you saw them, and that anger gets trapped in. But if I said to you, even the following day or a week later, oh, there was anger last week, you probably wouldn't even remember that event, because it's gone. It's not something you kind of think about it. You get home and you get on with the rest of your day. So it's not, we don't even remember sometimes.
Did you have to track the emotion back all the years, or is it just, one particular emotion that gets rid of all of them, or do you have to track them back?
That's a good question. They're actually all their own vibrations. So it's each emotion, or each trapped emotion has its own vibration, and you have to identify them one by one. So if you could have 50 trapped emotions of anger, which you have to identify them all, each one by one. So there could be different ages. And some people would say to me, if I find a trapped emotion of, say, we'll stick with anger, say anger at age 30. And then if, you know, maybe a few emotions later, it's anger at 30 again comes up, and they'll say, oh, but we've already released that. But there's probably more, you probably felt anger more than once in that whole year. So yeah, so there'd be different emotions there at the you know, for the same year, but just different events. So yeah. So it's just working through the you know, basically, yeah, like that. It's asking the body, what's the emotion? You don't have to get into detail. You don't have to kind of have the memory or have, you know, remember what it is. That's really important, because, and it's a really good thing for people as well, because a lot of people, you know, it's not about dredging up the past. It's not about going through it again. You know, the way I look at it, you've been through it once, don't need to be going through it again. So it's just about addressing what's the emotion, what age it occurred. And the only reason I ask, you don't necessarily need to know. Sometimes you can just release it, but that would be the basic questions I would ask, is what the emotion is and the age. And sometimes, you know, you'll know exactly. Some people, you know, have amazing memories, and they'll know, they'll just go, yeah, that's when that happens, or they'll have a flashback. Yeah. Me on the other hand, sometimes, you know, it could be 6 weeks later before I kind of go, oh yeah, I think that's what that was. So, you know, and that's it's not important at the time to remember what it is either. So it's just about yeah, just bringing it up and then letting it go. And the way we let it go is using a magnet. So if it was doing it in person and I was doing it with somebody, I generally have them lying on the plinth or the couch, and I just run the magnet down along the body a few times. Now I'll show you my magnet that I use. So it's,
and what type of magnet is that?
It's actually, this one is actually used by, I think it's in Chinese medicine for acupuncturists. I think sometimes use it. I just like the idea of it. It doesn't have to be, you can use a fridge magnet for the emotion code.
Okay.
It doesn't really have to be anything amazing or anything special. Any kind of a magnet's fine. This one I liked because it's just, I like the way it handles. And then when I'm working with children, because you can work with the emotion code for any age. I think the youngest I worked with was like 4 weeks old.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a wand.
So that's what I tell the children. It's a wand, and we're get rid of the issue. So, and they're happy out with this magic wand, and it takes all the worries away. So yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So it's very good. So yeah, so that's just how I like using that one. But as I said, any magnet does the job, and in fact, you don't even need a magnet really, because it's really the magnet. All the magnet does is it just magnifies the intention. So it's all about intention. So with energy work, it's just, once you intend for the energy to release, it's going to release. So if I was doing the emotion code on myself, I don't even use a magnet. So yeah, that's a really good thing.
Just asked a question there, Jillian. She's wondering, is there a map that you use? She said, is there a map of some sort?
Yeah, there's there's the emotion code chart, and then there's the body code maps. So the body code maps are the 6 different areas of imbalance that we can have. So, which I'll be sharing my screen in a little while, and you'll be able to see that as well. So it's like, that's with the muscle testing, it brings you through those maps. So it's basically everything that could be wrong in the body. So it works with the circuits and systems. So basically, where are you holding the energy? Where is there imbalance in the body? So that can be anything from everywhere in the body. You could be holding energy. So it could be organs, glands, muscles, the vertebrae as well in the body, muscles, all the brain as well. So all the different parts in the brain, it brings you through. So everything within those maps, everything in the body is within those maps, which I'll be showing you in a little while as well when we do the demonstration. So yeah, so it just brings you to exactly where it is. And then when we get to a place that's imbalanced in the body, we can just check and see, why is it imbalanced? What's wrong? So the whole thing with the emotion code and body code is about bringing everything back into balance. Sorry, voice is going a little bit there. So it's just about bringing everything back into balance. Yeah. And so it's just, and finding out, first of all, why is it imbalanced? Clear the energies around that, and then make sure it is balanced. And then that leaves the body able to heal itself, what it's designed to do. Okay. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Maybe I will show the screen and just show you. Well, actually, no. The first thing I'll do is I'll just show you how to release an emotion. So with the muscle testing, it's yes/no answers. There's several different ways with the muscle testing. So again, my favorite one is the ring and ring, like that. Yeah. So it's just a yes and a no. And there's different ones. So again, if I was doing it on somebody else, I'd be doing an arm muscle, and that's a yes and a no. But there's lots of different ones. You know, even there's little ones, one-handed ones. So if I'm in the supermarket and I want to check if something is going to be okay for me to eat or not, without actually buying it first, I can actually just go like that. So it's just a yes and a no with the two fingers. So it's like that.
That's more subtle than a pendulum.
Exactly, yeah. So you can get away with it not looking like a lunatic in the supermarket.
I actually seen a lady doing it for a blanket the other day. She was in Aldi and she was like this. I was like, oh God, that's the way I used to be. Around the shop.
Yeah, and that's it with pendulum. Some people will use the pendulum instead of muscle testing as well because it's easier for them, or they prefer it. I do use a pendulum as well. I use the pendulum to clear the energy instead of the magnet sometimes. So yeah, so it can be used as well. But yeah, that one is a very handy little one to know, because it's so easy to do it when you're in a shop or a health food shop. Brilliant, because you can just test and see what supplement is the best for you. And there's so much benefits to being able to muscle test, because with all of the stuff out there, I don't know, like if you've ever looked to see improve your diet or whatever, you know, one thing you read is going to say that, you know, eggs are the devil, and the other are going to say that the best thing that you can eat. And it's like, I don't know what it is, but if you ask your body has the answer. So
when you're doing that, is it just those two fingers?
It's this one and this one here. So the first finger and the second finger. So you're just putting the pressure on the top one, or on the bottom one, sorry. And you're going yes and no. So it kind of gives away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, so it's so good for you to have the muscle testing, even to do it for yourself. There's so many videos on YouTube and that to show you how to do the muscle testing yourself. So yeah, little things like, you know, what food can I eat? What supplement is the best one? You know, there's some kind of supplement of the month that's the best thing since sliced bread, and will that be beneficial for me or not? And you can do this without even actually holding the supplement, because my daughter, for example, she loves her products. She loves her, you know, her makeup and even hair products and stuff like that. So she's very sensitive skin. So she'll actually message me first or just ask me to test it for her before she actually goes and buys it. So I can tell if it's going to be an issue or not for her. So it's been amazing with that way, and you know, we'll save yourself a fortune as well if you test these things first.
No reactions.
Exactly. Yeah. I made a mistake one year of not testing a sun cream for her when she was small, and she had such a reaction. So we learned that lesson. So yeah, it's really good to be able to just test these things and ask the body, because your body knows. Yeah. So anyway, back to where I was talking about with the emotions. So that was the muscle testing. So with the muscle testing, there's a chart of emotions, which I'll show you in a second now as well, when I share the screen. So it's just basically muscle testing through the chart and seeing what is there an emotion that we need to release, or is there an emotion that's causing this issue, if there's something particular that you're dealing with, and then identifying the emotion, the age it occurred, and then just letting it go and releasing it. So the way I do that, as I said, down the body a few times, or if I'm doing it, if I'm standing in as proxy, or if I'm doing it for myself, just over the head a few times, 3 times, and that's it, gone. So it's so amazing and so simple. It's just what I couldn't believe, the simpleness of it, like
so powerful.
Yeah.
And I would do no more courses.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't deserve no more courses. I know. I said the same so many times.
Actually, Gillian, I've just done that muscle testing with water.
Yeah.
Right, this is interesting. And it told me yes. And I did it then with a doTERRA oil, and it told me no.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I don't know how anybody feels about doTERRA oils. I don't ingest them. I only ever put them on my skin, but that was interesting.
Yeah, and just be clear when you're testing it for what way you want to use it. So is it okay to use on my skin, yes or no, or is it okay to ingest, yes or no?
Yeah, okay.
See, that's one thing about muscle testing, that if you need to be really, really clear about what you're testing as well. Yeah, that's good.
That goes back to the intention.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, so that's basically
you teach this. Do you teach this?
I'm actually not allowed to teach the emotion code because that's what I would love to do. But Roddy Nelson and his company have, at the moment, they have said, you know, you're not allowed to teach the emotion code. But I will actually be doing classes, I think, on how to muscle test, because I think it's just so powerful for people to be able to know themselves what food they can have, what supplements they can have, what's the good thing, you know, the best thing for their body. It's just so good for everyone to know for themselves. I imagine even as a parent for your children, knowing what food might be they might intolerant to, or what supplements they might need, or even you know as a parent you could even say, I use it for the little homeopathy kit that I have. You know, if I'm not feeling well or something, it's what I'm not a homeopath, but I will muscle test and see what remedy is it that would be beneficial for me. And you can do it that way as well. So it's so great to be able to have the power to do that for yourself and your family. So I definitely do think I'll do classes on how to muscle test, and then you know could show you how the emotion code works in that as well. So once you have a muscle test, then the emotion code is simple.
Already got people signed up
call
now.
it something else.
I was signing up. I want to do this.
Just
good.
call it something else.
Well, true.
That's done before.
Yeah, but there's different, like when I studied kinesiology first, but within the kinesiology there's you know basically everything within the body code is what I learned in my kinesiology course. So Brian Nelson didn't come up with the you know everything that was in the body code. He did come up with the term trapped emotion and this simple way of how to release it with an emotion. But everything else in the body code, you know, it was there before that. So yeah, you could do it that way. Yeah.
You could do it that way.
Okay, so yeah, so that's basically the emotions. That actually one of the really good things about the emotions, because you know we do have our own emotions, and that's what I've been talking about, but there's also another element to it which is really powerful, is there is inherited emotions. So these are the emotions that come down through generations. So when we have an inherited emotion, it's an emotion that either comes from mom or dad's side, and it's there from you know the moment of conception. So the moment you know through our DNA and everything else that we receive through our DNA, we can inherit these trapped emotions as well. And sometimes these can go several generations back, which can have a really big effect. And people, you know, might be feeling a certain way and not understand why that is, because you know maybe nothing in their life they can point it back to that, but it can be an inherited emotion. It wasn't even theirs to begin with. So that's a really good way to do it. And with the muscle testing, you can see exactly where that comes from. So what generation that comes backwards. So there's a trapped emotion that I just check and see, first of all, what emotion it is. Does it come from mom or dad's side? Say if it's dad's side, you know, is it dad's mom? Is it dad's dad? And then we can just work it back until we find out where that energy comes from. And then it's released the exact same way. But even the better bonus of this is when you release an inherited emotion, it actually releases from where it begins. So if you're releasing it from, you know, several generations back, that's going to release from everybody that's ever inherited that along the way. So by you having an emotion code session, you can actually be helping hundreds of people, because it's going to clear from them as well.
Go back to the original hurt.
Yes, yeah, back to that, yeah. Yeah, and this is where one of the things that I say, because you know the way, you know, if you've worked with mothers, they always want to get the children seen first. You know, it's like, oh, don't worry about me, just you know, sort the children out. This one is a really good way that you can actually help your children. That's you know, by helping yourself, because when you're clearing the emotions, if they have inherited any of those emotions that we're releasing, they'll automatically release for the children as well. So it's a
Not a
really
happy
good,
mother's listening to this now.
a really good thing for the parents to, you know, for, well, mom or dad. But I don't know if I'm being biased here, but moms are generally the ones that go, you know, don't worry about me, do the kids first. Dads are usually coming in when the wife said, you know,
Come in.
go and get
Give them a
yourself.
voucher.
Yeah, they've made the appointment, and it's like, you go and get yourself sorted. So yeah, so that's basically the emotion code. And then the body code gets into the other areas of imbalance where, you know, you can go right down into, you know, what organ you know, is affected, what's causing the imbalance. And then so there's emotions then, as well as there can be all sorts of different things like traumas and different energies, food deficiencies or toxicities or intolerances, and then again, like, you know, toxicity in the environment. You know, there can be lots of different things that will cause the imbalances. We can go through them, more of those physical things, misalignments as well. Sometimes if the body's misaligned, you know, you can check and see what's causing the misalignment. Most of our issues go back to an emotional issue, so emotional baggage that we're hanging on to. So some kind of stress or emotions is, I would say, you know, probably 90% of the cause of the problems that we have. So a lot of people kind of don't really understand, well, it's physical pain, so it's not emotional. It most likely is emotional. Because there's so many things, you know, it just comes up generally. If there's pain, there's going to be emotions or something there as well. So yeah, so I think that's probably covered as much as I can until I, you know, I'll share the screen now and I'll show you. So probably the best thing to do is do the demonstration to see how it works. That's probably the easiest way you're going to see it properly, because it is hard enough to describe unless you were, you know, you can see it happen, see it working. So Jenny has so kindly offered to be the guinea pig for today. So we're not going to go into anything too much in detail. So basically, it's just, you know, if there's an emotion, what age it occurred. Jenny doesn't have to talk about it. We don't have to, just either whether she acknowledges it or not, or she might not even remember what that is, and we don't need to know generally. So
giving away my secrets, Jill. Okay.
So yeah, so we'll just be able to release it and see how you're going. So
Yeah,
just a couple of questions I'm going to ask you first is, the first thing I need to know is your age, if you don't mind sharing that.
I am 46 years young.
Perfect. And so the issue you want to work with today then is what?
Pain in my knees,
Okay.
arthritis pain.
Okay, both knees.
Yeah, both knees. One
Okay.
is more prominent than the other.
Which is worse?
The right knee is more prominent.
Okay. And then, so if you were to put a number on the pain level, so if you're working with the right knee, the pain level out of 10, what?
It would be about a 6 today. And then the other one was probably a 5.
Okay. And is it always about a 6, or does it go up or down?
It goes up and down, yeah, depending on how active I am.
Okay.
Really.
And how long has that been an issue for you?
Years, as long as I can remember, like early 20s. But I remember it being sore even when I was young, like kneeling down and stuff, it was sore. So I don't know if it's always been there or, yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so we'll check and see. So basically, I'm just going to, I'm going to share the screen now. So it takes a second, so just bear with me one sec. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that yet.
Yeah, up there now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay,
I
great.
don't know how I'm in the corner, but
Okay, so this is this is the six major the six parts of the body code. So we have first of all energy. So that's the emotions. So everything is, I'll just show you behind the map. It's all different maps that brings us through. So within energies, you've got post-traumatic, you have allergies and intolerance, offensive, emotional, mental, and reverberations. Reverberations are just energies that are like, there's a vibration of that energy. So it's not like a trapped emotion, it's like there's an energy. So see somebody that's always angry, they'll probably have a reverberation of anger that's kind of always vibrating around them. So that's that one. The emotions we've mentioned. Post-traumatic, that's, if they're actually, I'll click in there as well. So there can be physical trauma, physical or emotional shock, and then recovery interference is a really good one, because that's one that is, click into that there as well. It gives you a little explanation there. So it develops when the body's recovery process is interrupted. So it's nearly like, somebody who starts to heal and then it stops and they're back around to the start again and it's gone. So that can keep you on this loop of, not feeling well. So that's a really good one to be able to clear if it comes up. Okay, so post-traumatic allergy and intolerance. So this can be physical intolerances or physical allergies. But there's also idea allergies and idea intolerances. So idea allergies are like when there's a faulty connection between when the subconscious mind makes a faulty or negative connection with a particular idea, emotion, concept. So if you scroll down, there's a whole list of these. So this is where you have muscle test and see, is it A, B, C? They're hard to see there, so I'll see if I can bring that up a little bit. So there's an example of, so sometimes there's an idea allergy to being alive, aging, death, needing something, drama, being wrong. So there's lots of different examples of things you might have an idea allergy to being sick or fatigue or, different things. So there's lots of different things there within the idea allergies. Idea intolerance, same idea. It's just an intolerance instead of an allergy.
I just ask
Doesn't
about a
come up so
peanut
much
allergy there, Gillian. A peanut allergy.
Say that again.
Peanut allergy.
Oh yeah.
Would you work with that?
That would come up under physical allergy, yeah. So it's just identifying. Now, if you have a peanut allergy, most people will know they have a peanut allergy.
But
But
my
we do
daughter
have
does.
allergies. Oh, she does have. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes you can work with allergies as well. Now, peanuts, is one you don't want to be really careful with. But you can check and see if there's an underlying reason for that allergy too, and clear those. Like I had a little girl come to me that was allergic to her guinea pig. So suddenly she was fine, and then suddenly she became allergic to her guinea pig. So she'd get rashes or itchy or something every time she picked them up. So I was able to ask and see her body, ask her body why was there an allergy to the guinea pig, and clear the underlying reasons for it. And since then she's able to pick up the guinea pig and everything again. So you can clear some of these allergies as well, again, by just working with the body. Because another thing, actually, one of the really interesting ones is like, oh gosh, what's the name of it? Hay fever. A lot of people would have, with hay fever, once you clear the underlying reasons, a lot of the times people have hay fever because something traumatic happens when there happens to be pollen in the air. And then the body, the subconscious, recognizes the pollen with the trauma. And so then when there's pollen again in the air, they're thinking, oh, this is trauma. This is not good for us. And we have these reactions. So sometimes by clearing the trauma and clearing the underlying reasons for that hay fever reactions, you can actually, clear those, and you don't have to be suffering every time there's pollen in the air. Okay, so that was energies. So mental one is really good as well, because there's lots of different energies. See, I could talk all day on everything within the body code, but so there's everything from this will to is like when we have these energies of, I'll go down to the list of different ones. So we can have a will to die energy. It's one of the, the biggest ones there. And that could even simply come from a moment where you're just like, oh, I just can't do this anymore feeling, and you can have this will to die energy, along with, the will to avoid pleasure. It's lots of different ones there along that list as well. Similar to that is a no will to. So sometimes that's a no will to live. Memories. So just if there's memories there, I generally will find out what emotions are linked to the memories and what age they occurred. Programming is more about the beliefs. And broadcast messages, that's another really interesting one, because this is sometimes we can be broadcasting. So broadcast message is a specific type of vibrational frequency. stored in the body and continuously sent out. So some people, could be sending out messages that people pick up energetically these broadcast messages without being conscious of them, and then you're treated that way. So there's a list of broadcasts and messages. Sometimes it's like, will to be, or I'm a victim. So then I wonder why they're always treated like a victim, but they're actually sending out that energy. And there's lots of different ones here. So it's disregard me, disrespect me, don't look at me, don't trust me. So lots of different broadcast messages that we can be sending out unknowns to ourselves. It's usually something we don't want to be broadcasting, that's for sure. So that's kind of the mental things. The mental reverberations I mentioned. Offensive energies, can be a bit, some people don't believe in them so much, but they do come up quite a lot. And even when I got into the body code first, I actually ignored this page because I was like, no, that stuff doesn't exist. And I think it was just more about my fear of it. But once I get over that, then the fear, there's actually nothing to be feared about. It's just energy. So it's just generally, if there is kind of offensive, negative energies like that, there's an underlying reasons why that we've attracted that. And once we clear those, we can just clear those energies pretty quickly. So there's different ones, offensive energies as well. Sometimes it's not about, there can be like the picture there, there's cording. So we can have these energetic connections with other people as well. So we have energetic connections and cords with, all the people in our lives really, and they're good, healthy connections. But we can also have some unhealthy connections there. So one of the best examples is old relationships that you don't want to be connected to the person anymore. And you hear people talking about cutting cords. The way I work with cords is not about cutting them, because I don't believe that actually solves anything. So you're not changing anything, so they just reconnect again. It's finding out the underlying reasons why you've allowed that cord to be there or why it's still there. So it's usually emotions. A few emotions probably need to be released, and then we can release those cords. Post-hypnotic suggestions, all about. So these can come from anywhere, as you know. So, TV or video games would be a big one there. So it's lots of, or just being repeated, stuff that was said to you or stuff that you taught to say to yourself, they'll eventually become, post-hypnotic suggestions where you believe them. The subconscious believes them. So I'm worthless, I can't feel at peace, I don't deserve love, all these different lists of things, so you can find out if there's anything there, post-hypnotic suggestions. And then we've got the saboteur energy. So that's like a negative energy from somebody else. If there's enough emotion behind how they're feeling, it can actually affect our energy. And the more sensitive you are to energy, the more likely you're able to you pick up on those things as well. They can be easily cleared with the magnet as well. And then entities, that's what I just mentioned about this negative energies that, can be attached to our energy. But like I said, there's underlying reasons why that is. So once we clear those, that's not an issue. So that's all the energies, I think. And then we've got the physical stuff like the circuits and systems. So there's a list of organs. I'll just click in with the organs. Oh, sorry, that's just disappeared on me. Hang on. So I'm gonna have to log back in again. Sorry, it does this sometimes.
You're showing us your password now, Jillian.
I know, yeah, we're all we're all logging into body code later on.
Yeah.
We'll all be promoting it tomorrow. She'll be like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Motion code sessions. Okay, wasn't expecting that one to happen, but there we go. Okay, so I clicked it. Sorry.
That's just live showbiz.
Send it again. Oh my goodness. Oh, there.
Gremlins in the room.
Now it's after kicking me out again. Oh, I wonder, is that something because I'm sharing it? Hardly, but.
Oh, could be.
No, I wouldn't think so though, but that's a bit strange now that that's happened.
It's up there now.
That's the emotion code chart. Actually, I'll say that before we go up. So that's the emotion code chart. So this can be really quick to work with when you're doing a session. So when I'm just checking in, and I'll say, so is there an emotion here to release? I'll just ask, first of all, is it in A or is it in B? So that cuts it in half straight away. So that's, so it's, if it's A, okay, so we were after disregarding the whole B side. We don't need that. And then I generally ask, is it 1, 3, or 5? So I just ask if it's an uneven number or an even number. So again, that cuts it in half again really quick. And then like say, so I would do that again. So if it's something A, is it something in an uneven one? So so that cuts it down, and I'll ask, is it in 1? No, or is it in 3? So it's in row 3. So then that cuts me down. I have 5 options then. So I'm just asking the muscle test then, is it crying? Is it discouragement? Is it rejection? Is it sadness? Or is it sorrow? And whichever one it locks on, then that's it. So it can be really quick to find out what the actual emotion is that's causing the issue. And then just ask maybe the age, and then we release it. But that's the chart. When it's not logging me out, so I'm gonna have to, I'll try this one more time and see. I don't know why this is happening, but I'll try it again. Maybe it's just give you a second of time to catch that password.
We're meant to have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Freeze the screen, Sharon, quick.
I have the record, no one else is getting it.
The binoculars.
Oh, okay. Have you another chance to do it now if you're picking up? Oh. Okay, see if this work this time. Okay, so I won't go back into the organs again. For some reason, it keeps kicking me out every time I go into the organs for now, but it is just a list of all the different organs. There's a list of all the different muscles, the different vertebrae in the back and everything. So, so even if you go into misalignments, you can go into the skeleton. There's the appendicular skeleton, there's the axial, and there's the vertebrae. So it's all the different, so it brings you right down into everything within the body. So even the teeth, you go down through each tooth and see maybe if there's something wrong with it or imbalanced. Again, the skull, all the different parts of the skull. Like it really is detailed into all the different body, and bringing it such like all in just in the app as well. So it's really good. So soft tissue as well, organs, glands, connective tissue, fascia of the body, chakras, like it's the meridians. So it works with all the physical parts as well as then the energetic parts as well. So, and systems as well, brings it, oh God, it's just not
playing the game.
Too much energy.
This never happens really. So I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. Yeah. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, but hopefully. Try this one more time. And if you don't have the password by now, you're just way too slow.
It's not showing up, so you're lucky.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So that gives you an idea of the body code, and it's as well, like toxicity. It gives you an option to check in the different toxins. So there's dental, biological, food, drugs, environmental, electromagnetic, excesses, and heavy metals. So you can go in and see what's causing toxicity. So and in behind them as well. So there's a whole list as well. So if you go into dental toxicity, is it a particular tooth that's toxic? Is it cavitation? Is it amalgams? Is it root canal? Is it cavity, or is it dental products? So so that's just the dental. So you go into food. Is there a different type of food toxicity? So is it preservative processing? Is it GMO? Is it food coloring? Is it sweeteners? Sweeteners are one of the ones that come up most of the time. Is the sweeteners. And then environmental, so you've got all the different lists of environmental. So again, even cosmetic kind of gives you an idea of what might be cosmetic that's causing toxicity. So everything from shampoos to perfumes. There's like it's a huge amount of information within
Detail.
this. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of information within it. So it's toxicity, and then nutrition and lifestyle. So the different things that can affect you there. So there's sleep, nutrition, herbs and spices, essential oils, hydration. Sometimes, you know, hydration obviously can come up from drinking too much water, but not only that, it can be different things like water quality, water deficiency, water absorption. Sometimes we're not hydrated because we're not absorbing the water or we're not utilizing the water. So we can check all that. Color imbalance can be if there is a deficiency or an excess of a color. So again, it's just clearing the energy if there is. Magnetic field, so there can be an imbalance in the magnetic field around us as well, and we can check and see if there is an imbalance, why that is. We're back to the beginning to see, you know, maybe it's an emotion or what is it causing the imbalance. Outside needs is a list of things that are outside of the emotion code and body code. So there might be something else, something that the person needs that's not within this. So if it's mental or emotional fitness, you know, it might be to do with stress processing, spiritual nutrition, creativity. So it can be like, so somebody might be, it says creativity, you know, what do they enjoy? Is it music? Is hiking, socialize? Something that they need that's will bring in that creativeness. The stress processing. So like there's laughter counseling, meditation, journaling, stuff that might be helpful for them. Even down to like physical needs, like a need for movement, body work, or detoxification. So like there's lots of different, not even so sometimes even as well energy medicine. So if it's not the emotional body code, that's maybe that will bring them back to balance. It could be something else that's here. So acupuncture or Reiki or something like that. That's nutrition and lifestyle. Yeah. Outside needs. And then, you know, herbs and spices, we've got a whole list of herbs and spices. The whole list of nutrition. So it's a nutrient food. The whole list there as well. So it kind of gives you an idea there of everything that's involved. Pathogens as well. So physical, mold, parasites, virus, fungus, prions, bacterial, biofilm, you know, and what we might need to do if, you know, again, a lot of the time, if there's a bacterial or virus or fungus or whatever it is there an underlying reason why it's there? And when we clear the energies related to it, it's much easier to clear.
Melanie just has a question there for you, Jillian, about she said
Yeah.
the magnetic field. Have you noticed any change in it since the upgrade from 4G to 5G?
It's not something that I measure. So if somebody comes in and there's an imbalance in the magnetic field, I just find out what the underlying reason for it is. Doesn't really come up for me toxicity in that way with the magnetic field. It's generally more emotions that they're holding that's affecting the magnetic field for the sessions that I'm doing anyway. Okay, so that's I think that's covered most of the body code. So we might just show you how it works. So if you're ready to go, Jenny?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is going to connect in with your energy. So I'm just going to ask, can I work with Jenny's energy, and permission to do so? And I get a yes on both things there. So it's like, now I'm standing in as proxy for you. So all the muscle testing I do is going to be for you. So is there an underlying reason for this knee pain? Is it energies? Is it circuits and systems? So we're going to circuits and systems. And we're going to systems. Oh, it's kicked me out again. Gosh. I don't know why this is happening. This is myself.
Is it because you're sharing the screen? I wonder.
Okay.
If you just did it without sharing the screen, would it work?
I think that, yeah, I think it might do. So maybe I'll stop sharing
See how you get on.
and see how that works. Yeah. Okay, so let me see. I think that's okay. Okay, I think that's okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to check. I'm going to put it up here on my phone. Okay, so I'll call out what I'm doing anyway. So let me check. So connected in, we've got circuits and systems, and then it's bringing me to organs. So from organs, which organ is it? So first place is bringing me to is the stomach. Okay, so I want to check and see, what's causing the imbalance in the stomach? So is it emotions? It is emotions. So is it stomach emotions? So the first emotion that comes up here is helplessness. So feeling helpless. So I want to check and see, is that feeling helpless from before the age of 20, before the age of 10, 10 to 15, is it 15? So it's back to around age 16. So feeling helpless at age 16. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you or not, but as I said, don't need to know. So, and I'm going to ask the question, do we need to know any more about it? We don't. Okay. So that's all we need to do. So we're bringing that up to the surface, and now we're just going to let it go. So we're okay to release this. So with the magnet, I'm just going to run the magnet a few times over my head, and that just lets go of that energy. Okay. That's it. That's as simple as the emotion code. So that's clear that energy of helplessness. So let's see if there's another emotion here in the stomach. So is there another emotion here? So failure, helplessness. So it's hopelessness. So is this hopelessness from before the age of 20, before the age of 10, 10 to 15, is it 15? And it's around age 16, feeling hopeless. Okay. So can we release that energy? Yeah. Okay. So like that as well, just run it down a few times and just clears that. And is there another emotion now? Next emotion that comes up is anxiety. So is this anxiety from before 20, around age 21, feeling anxious or anxiety? So can we release that? Okay, so we're going to release that energy. And is there now another emotion? There is still. The next emotion is lack of control. So is that lack of control from before the age of 20, before the age of 10, 10 to 15, is it 15? And that's around 16 again, and lack of control. So lack of control and anxiety generally go hand in hand as well. And just release that too. Okay. So is there another emotion? Is there anything else affecting the stomach? Okay, there's something else affecting the stomach, and it's in energies, and it's post-traumatic. So it's some kind of trauma. So trauma can be a few different things. So trauma can be something very physical, like a fall, a bang, a thump, something very physical to the body, but it also can be something very emotional. So something very emotional that happens, it feels physical. So is this trauma, is it something from before the age of 20? Is it 20, something around 21, some kind of trauma there. So I don't know if anything comes to mind for you there. Do we need to know? We don't need to know. Okay. So sometimes a trauma, I might check and see if it's physical or emotional. I might give them an idea then, what it might be, but we don't need to know about this one, so we can just release that. And just letting go of that trauma. Okay, so let's go back and see. Is there still something affecting the stomach? There is. And this is where it can be so interesting, because we're thinking, what does the stomach got to do with the knees? But everything is linked into the body, and different organs and glands are connected to different muscles in the body as well. So, let me check and see. So is there something else that's still affecting the stomach? Yeah. So it's energies. Another energy of trauma. Okay, so this trauma, is it something from before the age of 20 and 25, so that's around age 26, something traumatic there. So can we release this? Yeah. Okay, and is there anything else affecting the stomach? There is. Okay, so here we've got toxicity. So is this toxicity on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the chart? It's an excess pernicious, excess stress hormones. Okay, so an excess of stress hormones. So that would be like, adrenaline or cortisol, those kind of hormones. So is there an underlying reason I need to know about that? There isn't. So can we release and clear that energy? So it's just energy, so we're just going to release that as well. Okay. So we release those stress hormones. Yeah. So now, is there something else that's affecting the stomach? No. So is the stomach balanced? Okay, let's bring it back. Stomach is balanced. So now let's check and see. So is there now an underlying reason for the knee pain? Is it energies? Is it circuits and systems? So back into circuits and systems. Now we're going to glands. And the gland we're going to is the thyroid. So is there emotions affecting the thyroid? There is. And the emotion that comes up there is nervousness. So is this nervousness from before 20, 25, 25? That's age 26, feeling nervous. So I'm going to release that. And is there another emotion affecting the thyroid? Next emotion comes up as confusion. So is this confusion from before 20, 21, 22? It's 23, feeling confused. And is there now another emotion? Next is terror, feeling terrified. So is this terror from before the age of 20, 20, 30, 30, 31, feeling terrified? Okay, and is there another emotion? No. So is there something else affecting the thyroid? Is the thyroid balanced? Thyroid tests, good. Okay, so is there now something else? What's the most significant underlying cause for this knee pain? Is it energies? It's energies. And it's mental. And it's programming. And it's what we call a despair anchor. So this is like a negative statement perceived as truth by the subconscious. So there's a list of these as well. So is it something in this column here? Is it A? Is it B? C? So it's in C. And is it 1, 2, 3? It's in 4, which narrows it right down for us. So is the energy, is it, it's out of my control? My life is a waste. No one cares. It's no one cares. Okay, so it would have been a time in your life that you might have felt no one cares. And like that, it can be, it doesn't have to be something you were continuously thinking. It could have been just a moment in time. So is this no one cares? Is this something from before the age of 20, before the age of 10, 10, 15, is it 15? So back to around age 16, which, you know, not unusual for a 16-year-old to think. Okay, so let's clear that. And is there another despair anchor? No. Okay, so is there something else now that the most significant underlying reason for this knee pain? Is it energies? Is it circuits and systems? And it's systems. It's digestive system. It's bringing me to the gallbladder. Okay, so gallbladder is related to right knee. So most times if there's a right knee issue, it's gallbladder. If there's a left knee issue, it's adrenals. A lot of the time, there's the connection with those. But do you have your gallbladder?
You?
You do, okay. Because sometimes it'll come up even if the gallbladder is being removed, it can still come up because the energy of the gallbladder is still there. So let's check and see. So what's going on with the gallbladder? Is there emotions here in the gallbladder? Okay. First energy that comes up with the gallbladder is indecisiveness. So is this indecisiveness from before 20? Is it 20, 25, 26, 27? So around age 28, indecisiveness. Sometimes that can be a time where, you know, a big decision was needed to be made in that time. So do we need to know more about this? Can we clear that energy? So we're going to release that indecisiveness. And is there another emotion here with the gallbladder? There is. There's some panic. So is that panic from before 20, 20, 30, 35, around age 35, panic? And is there now another emotion? Some more panic. Okay, so this panic is from before 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 41, 42. And is there another emotion? Is there something else with the gallbladder? Is the gallbladder balanced? Okay, let's gallbladder back to balance. Now, is there something else that's contributing to this right knee pain? We're going to organs. And we're going to the brain and the deep structures of the brain and thalamus gland. Okay, so we're going to the thalamus gland in the brain. So is there emotions held here? There is. And the emotion here is heartache. So is this heartache from before the age of 20, 20, 30, 30, 40? It's coming up around age 40. Something I just noticed, a note here at the time as well, is generally the age will be right up to maybe a year, give or take. So if it comes up with 40, it could be something at 39, or it could be something at 41. But generally wouldn't be any bigger gap than that. Okay, is there another emotion here? There is. There's panic. Okay, so this panic is it from before the age of 20, 20, 30, 30, 40. That's 40 as well, panic. And is there now another emotion? Okay, is there anything else at this gland? Is that balanced? Okay, that's balanced. All right, so is there something else that's contributing or causing now this right knee pain? No, it's not saying anything there at the moment. So is there a way that you can check with that knees? How does it feel now if you were to move it?
I'd have to stand up.
If there's any kind of, yeah, if you can, that would be great. Just to see if there's any movement or change there.
Still kind of sore, but it's, yeah.
If you feel that, is it moved? Is it the same
Movement in it,
place?
yeah. It's not
Okay.
stiff.
Okay.
Normally,
So would you
like,
still say 6?
I'd say it's probably like 5.
Okay. Okay, so sometimes when there's movement like that, it'll give me some more to clear. So let me just check and see. So is there something else to clear or release from this right knee? Yeah, okay. So what's the next most significant underlying reason for this pain? So circuits and systems. Disconnection here. So let me check and see what this disconnection is. Is this, it's a physical disconnection. So when a physical disconnection comes up, it's like a disconnection between two of the physical parts of the body. So we need to check out. So it's like all the messages aren't getting through from one to the other. So I want to check and see what parts of the body we're dealing with here. So is systems, and it's skeleton. And it's a skeleton. Is it appendicular? Is it lower limbs? So we're going to the patella, like the kneecap. Is that disconnected from another part of the skeleton? Is that disconnected from a muscle? No. Okay. Is it connective tissue? It's a disconnection there between the patella and the ligament. So I want to check and see the level of connection that we have out of. So 100% is fully connected. So is it 100% connected? It's not. Okay. So is it 50%? Is it 60%? Is it 65, 66? Okay. So it was 66% connected. Okay. So 34% disconnected. So let's see why it's disconnected. So what's causing this disconnect? Is it energies? It's emotional. So 2 emotions, 3 emotions, 4 emotions. Okay, so again, this is a different type of energy in that it's like 4 emotions felt at the same time. So it's like one ball of energy that we need to release at the same time. Okay, so let's check and see maybe what age this occurred, and then we'll check the emotions. So is this something from before the age of 20? Is it 20, 25? Is it 25? So it's back to age 26. So let's see the emotions here. So first is hopelessness. Second is anger. Third emotion is guilt. And fourth is frustration. Okay, so we've got hopelessness, anger, guilt, and frustration all at the same time in one ball of energy at age 26. So let's release that energy. Okay, so is that fully released and cleared on all levels? Yeah. Okay, so that's fully released. So is there something else that's causing that disconnect? No. Okay, so can we reconnect that energy now from the patella to the ligament? Yeah. So again, with the magnet, I'm just going to set the intention to reconnect that energy, and then we'll retest. So the connection now for the patella to the ligament, is that back to 100%? That's back to 100%. Okay. All right. So maybe if you can give that a little move for me and just see, is there any difference, or how does that feel?
Yep. That's a bit weird, Gillian.
How's that feeling?
I just walked across the room and back with, like, I'd say it's probably just like a 1. Like,
Brilliant.
that is mental.
Okay. I love that expression. Okay.
Like moving my leg up and down here. I'm like, really?
Okay. All right. And that's the right one. Does the left one still feel the same, or has that changed as well?
I haven't even noticed the left one now.
Okay.
Want me to check the left one?
Just check and see, because sometimes it'll work the same.
That one doesn't feel as bad either.
Yeah. So what number would you put on them now? So you said about a 1 for the right?
I'd say the 1. I'd say it's a 1, and then the left one is just right about the same. They're both. No,
Okay.
the other one feels better. My right one feels better than the left one.
Okay.
Now that's weird.
Okay, great. So might just double check and just see if there's anything we can clear from the left. So is there something that we can release or clear from the left knee? Yeah, we can. So there's energies there still. That's mental. That's programming. Okay, so it's a belief. So with the beliefs, there is a new belief code. Oh, sorry, that's my phone there. Sorry. So there is a new belief code with the so there's emotional body code as a new belief code that's out. I haven't done that course yet, but it's probably on the list of courses to do. But I have over the years, because that's been coming for years, I have my own way of doing the beliefs. So I do have a different list for beliefs. So bear with me 1 second, and I'm just going to pull up that list of beliefs. So let's check and see.
Take away the one about Santi now. Don't do that.
Sorry.
So don't take away the one about Santi.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see. So the belief here, is it something in, is it root chakra, sacral, it's solar plexus, is it row 1 in the solar plexus? So again, I just have a list of different beliefs, and I'm going to work through and see what it is. So is it 1 to 17? Is it 1 to 10? Is it 10 to 15? Is it 10, 11? Is it 12, 13, 14? The belief that comes up is lack of courage to take risks. So is that something that resonates with you? Lack of courage to take risks. Lack of courage to take risks.
How about that?
Okay. Sometimes with the knees and the legs and that as well, it's about moving forward as well. So it's like about that fear of moving forward or the next step or something like that too. So
Yeah.
this can be linked in with this lack of courage to take risks. So the way I work, so I just want to find out if there's underlying emotions linked to that. Is there anything you need to clear around it? And then if not, we'll just clear that energy. So is there something else that's underlying this? Is there something we need to know about this energy? Can we just release this? Okay, so we're just going to clear the energy of that lack of courage to take risks. And the way I work with beliefs is when we release that belief, I like to replace it with something more positive. So we'll check again with your body to see what it is that it's looking for instead of that. So first of all, is that clear? Is that released and cleared? Yeah. So can we replace this with something here? Something 1 to 12 here, 1 to 10, 10, 11. So it's safe for me to succeed. So that's the energy we're going to bring in instead. So it's safe for me to succeed.
Love it.
Okay. And then is that accepted? Yeah. Okay, great. So now let's come back and see. So is there anything else to release or clear from the left knee? Anything with the right knee? Okay. So how's that feeling if you want to check it one more time, Chris?
We'll be doing the can.
Yeah.
I have a lot more smoother movements in my strides when I'm walking. which is a bit crazy now. Let's be
Right.
honest, because like
Yeah.
I don't have that when I'm working.
Okay. And the way this works as well, it does take time to process. So when you get an immediate reaction, that's brilliant. But it also can continue to work over the next few days as well. So can get even
I'm going to
better.
be doing jiving at this conference. Keep your
Okay,
cards
brilliant.
open.
Yeah. So
John's
that's
going to
just
take out the floor.
Yeah.
so that's as simple as the emotion code and body code. And it can have huge, especially I love working with physical pain because you can actually, you know, check in and see the difference straight away, where different things like, you know, different stuff that you're working with can show, you know, take a little time before you see a difference. And sometimes people don't even see the difference themselves. It's other people saying to them that they're different or they're feeling better or, you know, something along those lines. So yeah, so anyone, any questions or anything you want to ask me there?
Yeah, Jillian, can I just ask, you just mentioned the belief code. Is that the same as belief coding, the Jessica Cunningham?
No, this is
Oh,
the Discover Healing one. Yeah.
Okay. So it's all connected to the original emotional code. It's
It
just
is, yes. Yeah. It used to be called T3 therapy. And then because it was two emotion code practitioners came up with this T3 therapy, which was working with the beliefs. And then Bradley Nelson actually bought them out. And it's after taking quite a few years for him to get the belief code, but that's only just launched this year. So yeah, that's probably
okay. And can I ask, how much is the training?
the emotion, it's done in 3 layers. So the first certification you do is the emotion code. Now the emotion code is you can get the emotion code book and it's free to learn how to do, but you have to be certified in it. I think it costs around 900 or 1,000 euro.
Okay.
And then you have to be certified to do the body code certification. The body code certification, I think, was around, actually that could be dollars, $900 of that, and then the body code certification is around $1,200. And I think the belief code is something similar if you want to go on, but you have to have the body code certified before you can be belief code certified. Now the other thing is you can have the body code app on your phone or your iPad for just paying the subscription. So which is like I think it's $25 a month. So if you want to use it for yourself and not be certified in it, you can actually have the app and be work with it that way.
And where do you do the training? Is there anywhere in Ireland or is it all online?
It's all online and it's only through Discover Healing, because this is where, as I said, I would love to be able to train the emotion code, but at the moment they won't allow it. The only thing I can train is how to do the muscle testing and then go from there. But
and another question I have is it a natural progression from kinesiology? Because I know I went to inquire about kinesiology with somebody and she said, I don't do it anymore, I do emotion code. And now when I went to her, she did, and I was surprised at how similar it was to the kinesiology, but what she did with me was all ancestral. So it was all for my psoriasis and it went back like 15 generations, I think.
yeah, it can be, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you know, whether it's a natural, like I could have not done the kinesiology training and just went and did the emotion code and body code. So like did 2 years training and then realized I didn't have to do any of it. But but no, it does stand to you, and the muscle testing is the most important part. But you don't have to do the kinesiology training. You can go straight in and do the emotion code without having to do any course ever. You can go
And are
straight in.
your clients just come for one session and that's it, or do they do subsequent sessions?
No, most people will need a few sessions. So depending on children, generally one session and they're good to go, depending on what they're dealing with. But the most, you know, stuff the kids are dealing, they don't have as much stuff as we do. So it's very much easier to clear them. So generally I would say one session for a child. And if it's something maybe chronic or something, you know, huge, not, I don't mean huge, but I mean something more difficult to deal, it can be a few different sessions.
Right.
But generally, if they're coming for you know, digestion issues or anxiety or, you know, not being able to sleep or, you know, things like that, one session is usually good enough for them.
Because I just feel I did one session, and I know she was gone away for about a month, but I just feel that she didn't say for me to come back, but I just feel that I should go back.
Yeah, generally it'd be unusual for you to clear everything in one session, because the body clears stuff in layers, and we do tend to hold on to a lot of different things. So you can only do so much in one session. Like you can't fix, if you have 15 years of a chronic issue, you're not going to clear it in one session.
How long would a session be?
About 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I tend to clear a lot of stuff in my sessions, and I'll get a lot done in 4 to 5 minutes. Whereas, if I went by what Bradley Nelson talks about, he says, you should only release about 10 emotions in a session. Their sessions are like 20 minutes. I do 10 emotions in 2 minutes and have them gone. It's my battery. I'm gonna have to plug that in. Sorry now. Yeah, I just clear until the body tells me I'm not right anymore. So I just keep clearing and try to clear as much as I can in the possible go. So I don't have people coming back to me kind of, every few days or every week or anything. If they're coming back, it's generally at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks between sessions, because I clear so much, they need time to process before I do another session.
Jill, when you're questioning there at the end, and you're saying, is there anything else that I should know or whatever? Nothing came up there for you, but what kind of stuff would come up, and what would you do in that circumstance?
Asking if there was the trauma, if I needed to know any more about it. Yeah. So that I might need to know if it's physical or if it's emotional, or they might need to know exactly what it is that occurred. So sometimes you do need the physical memory or to know what we're talking about, because it's important for the healing to know what it's about. So we need to kind of dig a little deeper there. So maybe I'll check and see, first of all, if it's physical or if it's emotional. And if it's physical and they don't remember anything, it's kind of, is there somebody else involved? Is it to do with family? Is it to do with, a male or a female? It could be something to try and get right down to exactly what it is, until eventually.
Done off your own intuition, then you're not going back through like the various boxes and all that. You're just going off your own.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see, asking questions that might bring me closer to where we might need to go to. Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Just on that as well, because we had the conversation, before we jumped on, or a couple of weeks ago. But there is a guy who does hypnosis with this, isn't that what you said as well? Like, that he brings.
Oh yes, yeah. There's Jonathan Finn in Galway. He's a hypnotist, but he is using muscle testing with his clients to check, first of all, and see if their subconscious is willing to go into hypnosis and go deep enough to solve the issue, and if they're willing to heal. So he'll get them to so you can do a sway test in the muscle test. The sway test is the easiest one to do. So basically it is just, if you're standing, you just stand with feet hip width apart, just relax the body and just allow the body sway backwards or forwards. So basically if I'm looking for, if I want to say my name is Jillian, I'll check and see, and I'll go forward for that, because that's a yes answer. So if I said my name is Sharon, I'd go backwards, because that's obviously not true. So he will do the sway test with his clients and tell them, so is the subconscious willing to go into hypnosis, or whatever way he phrases it, is somebody willing to go into hypnosis, and either sway forwards or backwards. And if it's a no, then he will work further. He might use parts to find out what part of you is not willing to go into hypnosis before you can kind of get into it, or what part of you are willing to go deep enough to solve the issue. So you can use muscle testing actually with hypnosis as well. It works hand in hand, because you're already speaking to the subconscious before you even go into hypnosis.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Yeah, so that was great to add in there now as well, just to know as well that for Orla there, when she signs up for another course, she can put the hypnotherapy into it.
Yeah. But the muscle, you don't need to do any course to learn muscle testing. It is quite easy to do. The biggest thing with muscle testing is people don't trust themselves. to
Yeah,
do it.
that's the belief. It's the belief,
Yeah. Yeah.
even in kinesiology, it's that thing of, that belief that, that I'm getting the right, trusting in it.
Yeah, that's it,
Like
exactly.
everything really though, isn't it, with energy as well, even with the pendulum, and it's trust.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I'd say to people as well is, it's harder to muscle test yourself than anybody else. Like, I'm so much better at muscle testing other people than myself, because you're invested in the outcome when it's yourself, and you can interfere with the muscle testing. Like when I talked about foods and that as well, if I wanted a piece of chocolate and I'm asking my body, is that okay? I'm going to say yes. So
Eat it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, you can it is much easier because I'm not invested then in the outcome of the other person, so I know for sure that that's the muscle
It's great
testing
with
is
the muscle testing. It's great with the muscle testing when you're doing it in person though, because I had a session with Jillian before and I didn't know what questions you were asking, so it was brilliant. And I didn't know what way you were yes or no either. So I was just lying there going, doo, doo, doo. It was brilliant. Yeah, really good. I'm very proud
What can
of
be
it.
really powerful with working with somebody directly and using their muscles, as well as the feeling the arm go weak, like for the no answer. But if you're doing with foods, especially if you introduce a food and so I have some food kits, so I will just I'll go down through the list of foods and see what it is that's causing the issue. But if I hit a food that they're intolerant to, the arm drops, and when they feel that, it's showing the stress in the body, and then they get in that real kind of, oh wow, that's not good, rather than be just like, oh yeah, I was told I can't eat that. When you have that feeling of how it stresses out your body out, it can be easier to change your diet as well.
It's brilliant. It's so fascinating. Amazing what the body can do.
Oh, I just love the body, and I love how intelligent it is. Like, it has all the answers.
Yeah.
And even when I was even still, actually, something came up today, for a client where it was a supplement they needed, and it was only I didn't really hear it was golden seal. I don't know anything about golden seal, and then I googled it, and it was matched to what she needed. Like, so the body just knows.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, has anybody else any other questions or anything else to add to it? Well, that was brilliant anyways. Like, everything was like the aha moments. It was brilliant.
Yeah, there's so much in the body code. That's what like within the body code, it is everything that you do in a 2-year kinesiology course, as far as I'm concerned. Everything's there, and it's just in a handy app.
How many sessions would you do normally, Jillian, on someone if they came to you as a client?
Everyone's different, so I generally will kind of say to people to allow for 3 sessions. Now sometimes like that you don't need it. Sometimes the issue is gone, but depending on what we're dealing with. But often what people will do is they'll have other stuff that they want to work in. So the issue they originally came to me would be gone, but they'll say, oh yeah, but can you address this? And then, we'll go from there. So some people I would see regularly, maybe once a month, and other people I could see once or twice a year. Or some people might even come back, 3 years later, whenever something pops up, they might come in and see. So it's very different.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Jillian, we'll put all your details anyways on the link anyway, so you can send me your pages, or I'll get the pages and we'll put them up with the recording anyways if anybody wants to contact you, because as we could see, Jenny is going to be doing the can and jiving at the conference. So and John there is going to have his shoes on, so he'll take her out for an old jive.
Very good. And if anyone does want to do the certification of it, just reach out to me as well, and I'll be able to help you with that as well.
Brilliant.
Okay. And when you put your muscle testing course in place in the next coming weeks, probably by the conference, I'd say you'll have it up and ready. And then no pressure. And then we can go and we can do that. So that'll be amazing. That'll be another weekend that we can all come together. So we look forward to that, Jillian.
Very good. Great.
It was set in stone here, put out here now. You have to do it. That's Peer Training. We'll hold you to it.
Where are you based, Jillian? Where are you based?
I'm in Rathcoole in Dublin.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's loads of accommodation around that area so that we can make a weekend out of it.
Very good.
Company.
It's out there now. It's out there. Let's muscle test. Yeah, that's definitely a big yes. Okay, everybody. I know time is precious. So thank you so much, Jillian. That was fantastic, and thanks for everybody who is on the call and everybody who's going to listen to the recording. And we will see you all in, myself, Jenny, and John will see you all in April. And that is going to be with Anthony Jacquin. So he is going to do a masterclass in April. And we all look forward to that. Isn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then we've got the conference. So
Great.
we'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. And good night, everybody.
Good night, and thank you, Gillian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.